Hello adventurers! In this episode, I'm going to teach you tips and tricks to help improve your modeling skills, as well as some other opportunities the site has. First up, we learned in our last video that this is the work plane that our shapes get put onto, and if we hold down the right mouse button, it allows us to rotate. Sometimes though, when we rotate, we only rotate from a specific point, making it harder to reach or to use and manipulate one of the other shapes on here. So one thing you can do is, if you hold down the Shift key, you are no longer rotating, but sliding left and right, up and down. So if I zoom in, I can get a closer look at the one that I'm trying to manipulate without accidentally moving it to a place where I can't reach. Another way to make that happen is if you have a scroller on your mouse, you can just hold that down and it does the same. In the last video, I showed you that when we try to scroll, sometimes shapes get mixed in, especially when we're trying to group them that we aren't wanting, and now they're stuck together. An easy way to maneuver around that is, let's say I don't want to highlight the cylinder. I just want the sphere and the square. Hold down Shift, click on the shapes that you are wanting, and then hit the group. And as you can see, only the ones that I wanted got grouped together. And same like this. Hold down Shift and then click the shapes that I want, hit the group, and as you can see, the square did not get mixed in with it, and they are where they're needing to be. Now in the last one I showed you that if you click the buttons that are up here and they do the actions that you are wanting. Well, those actions can also be done from your keyboard by just pressing a few buttons together. So if I hit Control Z, whatever my last action I did would get undone. So Control Z, it moves it. If I keep hitting Control Z, all my actions will be undone. And it goes back until the start of whatever you were working on. If I hit Control G, they'll group them together. If I hit Control Shift G, they will undo themselves. And something you can do to find out more on key commands is just highlight the action that you're wanting to do. So this one says to ungroup, Control Shift G. If I am wanting to group them, Control G. I can hit the delete key to delete it. Another key you can press, of course, is backspace, and it does the same thing. Control D duplicates, which we learned it creates another copy on top of it. But a trick you can do with that, if you are trying to create a pattern, let's say I'm wanting to make my own personal dominoes, I can hit Control D, move it out to wherever I'm wanting it to go, and then while it is still highlighted, just hit Control D again, and it'll have the same spacing as the previous one. Now, Control C makes a copy, and then Control V places that copy. And it will always place it halfway from the one that was just copied. And then I can always highlight by dragging the left mouse click over whatever I want and delete to get rid of. Or if I made too many, just Control Z until I go back. Over here, let's say this is looking a little weird for me and I need to get it straightened out. I can either hit different parts of the cube over here, or if I'm just trying to get to the home screen, just hit the home. If I have a shape on here that I'm wanting to look closer at, and instead of having to hold down the Shift, drag the mouse over, zoom in, I can always just click on the shape and then hit this button right here, and it'll zoom right in for me. Now if nothing is highlighted and you click on it, it just zooms out. Then these ones are zoom in, zoom out, change perspective, flatten things out more. This section is very useful if you do not have a mouse and you are using either a laptop or a tablet. We can also use the work plane. Work plane just changes this blue one to wherever you place it on. So I want to put it like right here. And now whatever I put out will appear on that work plane instead. And then I can just drag another work plane back down on the bottom here. And I have these shapes right here. The ruler just gives you all the information that you may need about whatever you're clicking on, as well as giving you a good focus point. If you're trying to find the middle of something, I'm trying to line these up. This will let me know how far I am away from the middle of it. And you can always just hit the X to get rid of the ruler. So I've shown you the basic shapes. Now I'm going to show you the community shapes. So we can go here to characters, connectors, or all. So characters are just shapes that have been created by the devs or somebody else and have submitted them. And then we can just always use them to speed things along. And there we go. I've created my own little hands holding glasses on a cylinder. And there's a few of them. Got your Astrobot. A couple more things that you might be interested in is up here in this corner we see different shapes. And just by looking at the symbols, you might be able to tell what it means. If you click on blocks, it's going to switch everything over as if this was Minecraft. And it even gives you a little personal detail on what in Minecraft this would be made out of based on the color. Up here is the detail and size. So if I click on this one, it gives me a little bit more detail. Click on this one, it gives me even more detail. If I click on bricks, it's going to, of course, change it to Legos, which I really like. Because with this, if I zoom in, you can see that they are not connected, which means if I was to print this out, it would make it to where the pieces will all come off pretty easily, and I will have new sets of Legos made from our 3D printer. Now, the last things I want to show you are the different opportunities that Tinkercad has. If you're more advanced or just kind of want to learn about circuits, you can do circuits, create your own design, and test them out. So I'm going to start with something very simple, an LED light. I'm going to make it orange. And here is a coin battery. This even tells you what kind of battery you are using, which is a 2032. You can find that at the Dollar Tree. And then connect. Positive goes to, let's go with cathode. Negative will go to anode. And then we're going to test it out. I click Start Simulation and see what happens. Well, it didn't work. I wonder why. Well, I'm going to move it over the negative to the anode, or the cathode, and then the cathode, let's get rid of that, the positive to the anode. And now I'm going to try it. So with this, I have learned that an anoid means positive and cathoid means negative connection point. Start the simulation again. This also gives me some more information. If I had built this in real life, it shows that this is sending through more current than what is really needed, which means it's going to reduce the life of the LED. And something that might help, a resistor. So I'm going to delete this, connect here to here, and then try it again. And now you notice that the exclamation point is gone. So this is letting me know that this is pretty optimal. The next section is code blocks. If you ever dealt with Scratch, you can use coding blocks to design your own shapes. So I'm going to start here. Modify, create new object. And I'm going to want it to be created in the middle. But then I'm going to repeat making a copy of the item. So I've put on my code, and now I'm going to press the step, and then it says press space to continue. And there we go. And now it's running through, and if I was in Tinkercad, I would be able to know that this is being created all on the same part. But I can't move it because this is code blocks. And for the last thing I wish to show you is when you sign up for the class, and your name will appear in our Adventure Club class section, where I can see what you are working on. And if you are completed with the 3D design, it will appear right here, and you can just change the name to please print or print me or something to get my attention, knowing that that's what you wanted printed out. I will give it a look over, make sure that all parts are connected so when it does print out it doesn't fall down or anything like that, and I will print it out and post it on Facebook for you to look at, and when we all get back together, we'll be able to let you take it home. Well, I hope all of these tricks and tips will improve your 3D modeling skills, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if there's anything else you would like me to cover, just let me know, and I'll start making a video on it. Until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful summer.